So this is the chapter summary, and this whole chapter, chapter 7, will be about chemical reactions. Chapter 7 is about chemical reactions. In chapter 6, you learn that chemical bonds form between atoms to make molecules. Chapter 7 is about how bonds between atoms can break and form again between other atoms. Chemical reactions occur when the atoms in matter have the energy to form new kinds of matter. In reading 7.1, you will review that a physical change only affects the physical properties of a substance. Physical properties include size, shape, color, and states of matter, like liquid, solid, and gas. In contrast, when there is a chemical change, there is also a chemical reaction and a new substance with different properties can be formed. You will learn to recognize evidence of chemical reactions. When you combine compounds, the substances might bubble, turn cloudy, change color, or change temperature. These are all clues that indicate a chemical reaction. The substances that you start with are called reactants. The substances that form a chemical reaction are called products. When wood burns, chemical changes occur. The heat energy of the fire causes the wood to change to ash. But what would happen to the piece of wood? Does it all change to ash? No, some of the atoms form gases that you don't see. In reading 7.2, you will learn about the law of conservation of mass. This law states that in a chemical reaction, the mass of the reactants must equal the mass of the products. This means that the mass of the wood plus oxygen gas equal the mass of the ashes plus new gases. Scientists use chemical equations to show the reactants and the products of chemical reactions. Then we have a picture down here, and it shows you the wood, which is a solid substance, and you add oxygen to it, and then this is the reaction. When it burns, it makes carbon dioxide, which is a gas, and it gives off also water, which is a liquid. This little G down here means it's a gas. It means that's a gas, and that means that it's a liquid. Let's keep going up here. So this shows you that this would be a gas. Okay, this is carbon high. Okay, so we'll just say CH4. And then you add oxygen, 2 molecules of oxygen bonded together. This is the reaction. This says that there's a reaction. And what we get out of it is CO2, which is a gas, and 2 molecules of water, which is a water gas. Excuse me. And we know that it's a gas because it says G right here. So that would be water vapor. The chemical reaction above shows what happens when a chemical reaction occurs between the gases of methane and oxygen. The atoms that form the reactants are shown on the left. The arrow indicates that a reaction has occurred. The atoms that form the products are shown on the right. The reactants or products must be balanced. The term balance means that there is a number of each atom on both sides of the equation. Look at the right-hand side of the equation. The 2 before the H2O is called a coefficient. Talking about right here. This is called a coefficient. In reading 7.2, you will learn how to balance chemical equations using coefficients. Helpful vocabulary. Occur, to happen or take place. Review, to look at or read about something a second time. Properties, traits or qualities. Substance, matter or stuff. Evidence, signs, hints, clues or proof. And indicate, to show that something has happened. This is page 173 in your book, and we're going to go over the guided reading here. Chemical changes. Chemical what occur when the atoms in matter have the energy to form new kinds of matter? That would be a chemical reaction. Chemical reaction. Physical changes or properties include size, shape, color, and states of matter. Well, that would be a physical property, because a property describes what it looks like, how it smells, its characteristics. Number 3, when there is a chemical change, there is also a chemical reaction in a new substance. Type questions, and these are questions that you'll see on something like a unit test. These over here are questions that you're typically going to see on your AR test. So let's make sure you're going to do good on that AR test. Excuse me. Chemical changes. Chemical what occur when the atoms in matter have the energy to form new kinds of matter? That would be a chemical reaction. Chemical reaction. Physical changes or properties include size, shape, color, and states of matter. Well, that would be a physical property, because a property describes what it looks like, how it smells, its characteristics. Number 3, when there is a chemical change, there is also a chemical reaction and a new substance with different properties can be formed. Number 4, the substances that you start with are called reactants because they haven't reacted yet, so they're called reactants. The substances that form in a chemical reaction are called products. 7.2 Conservation of mass. When wood burns, chemical changes occur. The law of conservation of mass states that in a chemical reaction, the mass of the reactants must equal the mass of the products. Scientists use chemical equations to show the reactants and products of chemical reactions. The reactants and the products must be balanced. The 2 before the 2H2O is called a coefficient.